Hi, I'm going to read to you a story today called Grumpy Monkey. It's a New York Times bestseller. By Suzanne Lang, illustrated by Max Lang. One wonderful day, Jim Pansy woke to discover that nothing was right. The sun was too bright, the sky was too blue, and the bananas were too sweet. Jim was confused. What's going on?
Maybe you're grumpy,
suggested Norman from next door. I'm not grumpy, Jim insisted. On his walk, he met Marabou. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Marabou. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Marabou. It's such a wonderful day. But look at how you're standing, Marabou said.
It's true, Norman said. You're all hunched over.
So Jim loosened up. Then he ran into Lemur.
Jim's grumpy,
Norman told Lemur. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Lemur. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Your eyebrows look grumpy, said Lemur.
It's true, said Norman.
They're all bunched up. So Jim raised his brow. Then he tripped over Snake.
Oh no, said Norman. That's the last thing you need when you're feeling so grumpy.
Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Then why that frown? Said Snake.
I think it's because he tripped over you,
Norman whispered to Snake. So Jim put on a smile. Finally, Jim looked happy. But he didn't feel happy inside. Everyone wanted Jim to enjoy this wonderful day. You should sing with us, said the birds. Jim did not feel like singing. You should swing with us, said the monkeys. Jim did not like swinging. You should roll with us, said the zebras. Jim didn't feel like rolling. You should stroll with us, said the peacocks. Jim didn't feel like strolling. You should lie in the grass.
You should stomp your feet.
You should take a bath and make a splash. You should hug someone. You should laugh. You should eat old meat or some honey. You should jump up and down. You should sit in the sun. You should dance. But Jim didn't feel like doing any of that. I'm not grumpy, shouted Jim as he beat his chest. stormed off. Jim felt sorry. A little sorry for shouting at everyone, but mostly sorry for himself. Guess I am grumpy, Jim sighed. And just as he was starting to feel really sad, he came upon Norman. Norman was slumped. His eyebrows were bunched up, and he was frowning. "What's the matter? Are you grumpy?" asked Jim. "No, I danced with Porcupine," said Norman. "Whoops." "Are you okay?" asked Jim. "It hurts, but I'll probably feel better soon enough," said Norman. "Are you still grumpy?" "Yes," said Jim, "but I'll probably feel better soon enough, too. For now, I need to be grumpy." "It's a wonderful day to be grumpy," said Norman. Jim agreed. And he already felt a little bit better. So we just finished reading Grumpy Monkey. Let's talk about what you heard when you listened to this story. What was wrong with Jim Pansy? That's right, he was grumpy. How do you feel? What are your emotions? So I think we can all agree that Jim Pansy was grumpy. The question I have for you is that okay? Is it okay to be grumpy? Have you been grumpy before? The answer to that is yes, absolutely. We've all been angry before and grumpy before. It's a perfectly natural emotion. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Inside Out, but there are these little characters in this little girl's brain that actually control her. And we have those emotions. As a matter of fact, let me show you those emotions today. This is the one right here that I think Jim Pansy was struggling with, right? Anger. And that's going to happen naturally. We will experience anger. We just have to know how to handle it and what to do and know how to recognize when we're feeling that. Especially right now, there's a lot going on. And so we may feel a lot of different emotions. Another emotion that I believe he was feeling towards the end of the book, sadness. And some of us feel this from time to time too. It's perfectly natural. So we need to recognize it. And when it gets to the point that we don't want to do things with our friends, or we start to feel angry and we don't know what's going on, then it's time to talk to someone. The other emotions you may be dealing with from time to time, this one is called fear and anxiety. And that happens when there are things going on in our life and we just don't know how to handle them. Adults experience this as well. And then from time to time, all of us get a little envious, don't we? We feel envy and jealousy. That's a natural emotion. This is where I want all of you to be. I want you to have joy. And I want for Jim Pansy to find that joy. And if you'll recall, towards the end of this story, he did find joy. What was it that happened that made him start feeling a little bit better? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I want you to know that it is okay. From time to time, you're going to feel all of these emotions. And it's learning to identify how you feel, why you're feeling that way, and being able to express yourself and talk to someone if you need some help. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's look into our story a little bit more and see if we can answer some questions based on what we read today. What were some clues from the story that let you know Jim was grumpy? Look at this passage in the photograph. What can you take from this passage that were clues that he was a little grumpy? The way he was standing. He was hunched over. Look at his posture. It does kind of signal to us that he's not happy. So what did he do in response to that when his friends were telling him he looked angry? He loosened up. I'm not so sure that's the best thing either, though, because was he really feeling any better? No, he was trying to hide it. Here's some other passages we can look at. Look at this one here. Are there any clues to let us know that he was grumpy? His eyebrows looked grumpy. They were all bunched up. Those are true signs of someone showing anger, frustration. So what did Jim do? He raised his eyebrows. Again, he's still feeling grumpy. He's just really pretending that he's not. Look at this photograph right here and read the passages. What clues do you see? Jim was frowning. So what did Jim do? He put a smile on. Was he really any happier? No, he wasn't. Again, he was pretending. But deep inside, he was still having that grumpy feeling. Here's another big clue. When Jim shouted, he got so angry he couldn't control himself anymore. But now that he knows he's angry, what do I do about it? Here are some things you can do when you start to feel angry or emotions that don't make you feel the way you want to feel. First of all, you need to recognize. Are you angry? Are you scared? Are you sad? Happy? Frustrated? Anxious? Disappointed? Calm? What are you feeling? Put your emotions into words and recognize it. For your parents at home, there's a great resource here that they can go to that we use in our classrooms. Many of us use conscious discipline, and there will be some tips there to help you deal with your many emotions that you will feel. So recognizing it and self-regulating is important. Here's how you can self-regulate. When you feel yourself getting angry, tell someone. Talk to a family member or a friend. Sometimes just stepping away for a minute and counting to 10. But again, you've got to know you're angry. You have to recognize those triggers. Get or give a hug. Hugging someone helps you feel joy, and it really does help change your emotions. There are also some breathing techniques that you can try. If you will just smile, take a deep breath of air in very slowly, and then release it slowly. That helps tremendously. Another thing is exercising. Get outside. Change your scenery. Do some jumping jacks. Move around. Do an art project. And last, focus on something that makes you happy. Try to change your mindset. The more you focus on things that make you happy, like that little control center in your brain, the more joy that you will feel. whatever you focus on the most is how you're going to feel. So if you're focusing on those negative feelings and you're thinking negative thoughts a lot of times, it's important to change those to the things that make you feel good. I would strongly suggest that during this time when you're at home, keep a journal. Keep a journal of what's going on from day to day. And it'll help you keep your emotions intact, but it will also help you keep a log of what's going on in this point in our time. So I hope these things will help you. Know that your emotions you feel are absolutely normal, but there are things that you can do to help you get back to joy. You want to feel joy and happiness so it doesn't hinder you from doing and enjoying things that you like in life.